Hey, thanks for joining me. I'm approaching the end of the Loki Dagger project. So at this stage, I'm going to make a specific video on how I insert the support rods and fit the final pieces together. The pieces are here. Literally took a picture of the dagger mid-show and then tried to edit out the spoilers around it because, well, it was within the first week of it coming out. Right, so then we've got the final dagger here. It's all misaligned at the moment. Yeah, but it is actually misaligned. So I'm going to put it all together, look at what needs to be cut from where, make the support rods and create the notches and then tweak the size a little bit, and in theory I should be done. So then first of all we want to get them all aligned, so S for shortcuts, A for a line there. Now it doesn't matter which of the three I end up aligning it with, as long as it's all from that one originally. The main thing I'm going to be looking for is nice workable geometry. So that's quite nice and flat. But should I need to adjust the size later on, that's not great for scaling, for scale to point. Here, this could be good, but believe me, I've had a lot of trouble getting this aligned because of the curvature here. And obviously, the point of the blade is basically going to be the bit that we're going to use. We're going to use that to align all the pieces. So then, first of all, it doesn't matter which one we go first. If you can't actually grab this control point, but you can highlight it, you hold the control button and it keeps it highlighted for you. Let go of it and it goes back. So then we want to click that, make sure its body's up here rather than components. These are three separate components though, so we'll see about that. Okay, so I don't think I actually grabbed the control point there. Let's try that again. Lovely start. That's alright, there's always more. Definitely grab that there. And two. There we go, cool. So hit enter, top view. So we see that's basically perfectly aligned. So M button to bring up the move. We want to translate it because it's using global geometry. And for now, it doesn't matter where it goes down there, as long as it's aligned correctly. We're going to get it sorted better later. So that's that bit done. Shortcut, align, click. We want the center point. Let's just see if this one plays nice. It hasn't in the past, but we shall see. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. I mean, obviously it doesn't at the moment, but it will do soon. Yeah, either way. So enter to accept that, move, and now what we want to do is we want to do free move. Doesn't matter where we select it because we're going to select the pivot. We're going to zoom in and make sure we get the pivot of the sword, of the tip of the blade even, and then unselect the pivot because that is the bane of my existence. Why isn't it working? Because you haven't unselected it. Oh, I do it all the time, Right, that one there. That's not great, is it? I could do 5 degrees and that's probably absolutely fine, but no, I want to be thorough in this respect. So it's probably the align. I don't think it is, but we'll try again. Free move, grab that. Let's grab that. And this time we'll just make sure beforehand that all the other arrows are gone except the one we need. No, it isn't. I see you there. You're trying to hide, but I see you. Okay, so this is where it's worth just being very thorough, almost to the point of being pedantic, and just make sure you get the right bit. And we want that. That's still there. So what we're going to do is we're going to assume that this was an issue with the when I aligned it, and we're going to grab the bit from the bottom because it's got a bit more of a pointed bit. I should have done that earlier. S for shortcut, A for align. That looks a lot better. Yeah, I will still need to flip that. And I want to make sure I get the point. And for move, free move, doesn't matter where we click it, grab the set pivot, And in theory, this should be a little bit more tolerant. Or not. But why? That's why. Oh, I haven't unset it. It actually helps for once. Come on. That is what we want. Perfect. Oh, I nearly did it. And then unset pivot. That did not work right. Okay, let's just not you. There we go. 90 degrees. Nice and easy. Is it though? That does not look good. This wasn't supposed to be the difficult part. Right, let's make sure it is okay to begin with. Are they all aligned? No, they're not aligned. Okay, right, so we know where the problem is. The problem is when I aligned it. And it may be the fact that I'm using the sword. The tip, which I'm doing it offside. So I'm not doing it the perfect centre on that, even though we're only talking about millimetres, or no, fractions of a millimetre difference. Let's try grabbing a different point. So shortcut, align. Let's try. First of all, I want something flat. That looks flat. I mean, facing me flat, that's fine. If I can get halfway point, which I should be able to, right? That's how lines work. There you are. Don't know, don't know. But we'll roll with it. We'll roll with it and see what happens. Give it a little look from the front. That looks perfect. Right, the grid isn't on at the moment. You click at the bottom, grid snaps there. And green line. Oh, it's not perfect. Nor is it perfect there. So I'm going to continue to play around with the align tool a little bit. And see where we can get to. So shortcut, align. Right, so we want this body. No, not that one. So we're just going to move that out of the way at the moment. We don't have to worry about the alignment as such because it's very subtly misaligned anyway. So we're going to have to do it from scratch on there pretty much. So then let's see if we can get a bit of flat geometry. I still think that is flat. Let's have a little look. So 1 square down, not 1 square down. I don't like that. That's not perfect. And it's not enough to say, oh, it's not that much of a difference, because it kind of is. Obviously, this wasn't going to be about editing that piece. However, that may be what I'll have to do, and quickly and efficiently as well. Let's also make sure I am actually clicking the broadcast button and I am live. Where would it say? It's fine, it's fine. I've got a new major catastrophe. It's not perfectly aligned, so let's see how quickly and efficiently I can take care of this. Oh, the answer's not going to be great, is it? Right, just a big ass box. Just a big ass box. That's great. Look at that, a big ass box. No one can see it because no one can see my bodies. Don't make a joke here. Don't make a joke here. Right. So, shortcut align. Control. Grab that. Right at the bottom of the line. Cool. And flip that. No. 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 That's fine. That's fine. Let's actually change the point that we grabbed that from. Yep, that should give me the result I want from a flip. Yep, cool, that's what I wanted. And then you moved. So what I'm going to be doing is hopefully cutting this thing in half, basically. So, but I'll be honest with you, that align didn't work in the way that I wanted. I mean, it did, and then it didn't. Exactly what am I grabbing when it's in there? So I want to get precisely half, which means I might need to basically create it anew by cutting it in half first. So let's move this face of this larger box from here up here. Cool. Now we've got a cutting tool, and we can click on right and then zoom in and see what the score is. Okay, that looks perfectly central to me without any issues or dramas. Good. What about down here? That looks perfectly central to me without issues or dramas. God damn, I was expecting to see a problem. Okay, I don't need to delete anything. I can find a way to get this aligned properly. I've just done it here, and the way I did it was grab the top or the centermost of this line here. So that's what we're going to do. S for shortcut, A for align. Grab you, highlight that, moving, grab that, go to the tip of the blade, hide the bodies. That quick and easy. Now I want to zoom in carefully and get the central line because it's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. Come on, come on. There we are. Right, you there. Is that perfect? Is this going to be good, perfect, correct, adequate? And is it going to get there and then, like, not be? No. We're talking tiny, tiny amounts. Oh, that's going to go. Okay, actually. Let's try aligning that central point. Yeah, you can move like that, that's fine. Let me just check before we start doing anything. Okay. Okay, right, that's a good start, but do those two tips touch? If those two tips touch, just over. Oh, oh, have we done it? Okay. So I've clicked on move. We don't need face, I don't know why that's there. Free move. Right. So we're going to move this, but we're going to do it by the tool that we aligned it with, rather than that tool that's been causing me minor frustration. Unset the pivot. Budge up to 90 degrees. Top view. Translate. That is good. Oh, shit. No, most certainly not. So I'm going to set the pivot for here. Assuming the other arrows disappear. Right, let's see if I can do this. Because we're talking stupidly low numbers. Minus 0.001. Okay, that was too much. So 0.5. Nope. That's what I'm doing wrong. I'm being silly, aren't I? Right. And that looks good. There we go. That looks good. Okay, and side view. There we go. Okay, right. So then, we can get back to where we were at the start of the stream. I've now finished all of the parts. Right, let's move those and translate, because we are sticking with global geometry as much as possible. Now we can see where it overlaps here, because at the bottom, display settings, visual style, shaded with hidden edges. If you need it more extreme, wireframe will offer you something similar on there, but shaded with hidden edges will allow me to see what breaches into what. Now you can see the bottom of the blade part itself is extruded down, so it's just straight down rather than tapered. The majority of this line I want underneath the line of the hilt, so this part is going to be basically touching there. So that's where we just about want it, but to be fair, no, it's going to be better to have a bit more of an overlap there. So then, that's where that will actually be sitting. Right, let's just double check that from all other angles. Let's just give that a very, very quick little, no, it's fine. I do want to give it a tiny bit more width. Even if just 10%. Oh, that'll be why, yeah. In fact, that'll be why I'm viewing it like that. No, no, cancel that, cancel that. That's fine. Right, and let's push that into that. Yep, a little bit of a wedge of distance. Actually, let's give that a tiny bit back. 9, yeah, an extra millimetre, that looks great. So then, if we press the I button or click inspect up there, we can see the size. I'm hoping for between 400 and 450 millimetres. 426, fantastic. I did see the answers before, so that shouldn't be brilliant. And right, so then, the next step is going to be chopping bits out of other bits in order to make it fit nicely. And then we're going to do the support rods, where the handle in the middle is going to be the part that most has things taken out of it. I want to give it a 2% increase in size when I'm basically done with it. This will just cut down on a lot of sanding, and just make it a little bit easier to slot everything into everything. But we need to be careful when this is done, because if you do this after the support rods, then the support rods that you've calibrated for what you plan to use them for aren't going to be fitting. They're either going to be too big or too small, which is only a drill away from fixing. But if we can get the computer to fix a problem before it comes a problem, that is way better. So then, what size do we want? Now we need to be a bit careful with regard to support material in there. It can be a bit of a nightmare to drill too deeply if the hole is too small. Generally speaking, if it's going to be above 100 millimeters deep that someone may potentially need to drill into, I don't really want to use anything smaller than 6 millimeters. But 6 millimeters on a small dagger like this, which is quite a light item, is going to be a bit too much. So I'm going to be aiming for 4 mil, but I also want to give the option of 2 smaller parts flanking the larger one, just to offer stability. It doesn't need to be taken because there will be inserts and recesses for each of the bits, but with things like this it's always better just to add it, and then someone doesn't need to use it if need be on there. So then, in theory, I want to start cutting things up, but there is something I want to do first of all. So I'm going to make a copy of all of these three. Remove. doesn't matter what I do or where I do them or anything like that. I will then join these up. In fact, I'll join them up now. Yes, 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 you can't see it because it's the body, I understand. So we will combine this one, and this one, and this one. Make it a new tool, new component. And just in keeping with my convention, LD master. And let's change the name of the body as well, otherwise that'll confuse me later on. LD master. Master. Cool. It's easier to, if you want a solid copy before you break it up, it's easier to do it now rather than before you start dicking around with it. The only difference is the hilt will be 2% larger, I think, but that should be negligible with regards to needing to worry about it. Why are you there? You're gone. Okay, so then. First of all, we will check again and make sure we're happy with where each bit eats into the other bit. And they are aligned. That's good there, that's good there. Cool, so we don't need to think too much about this, however. Combine, so from this we want to take this and this. So switch over to cut. Let's have a quick look at how much material we're cutting out. That's not intersect. Why can none? That doesn't intersect. It doesn't matter. Right. So nope. We're just going to cut, and we're going to make sure we keep the tools. We don't want a new component. It's a perfectly good component. Cool. Now what we can do is SS for shortcut and then scale. Click on the item. It doesn't matter where. I want to keep it central though, or as central as possible, which has been easy enough. Non-uniform is incorrect. Uniform. The point. The point actually doesn't matter because I'm going to realign it afterwards. So 1.02 to increase it in a global manner by 2%. This will just give us larger parts to deal with on there. Then we want to align, so let's move it out of the way first. It'll make the alignment easier, ironically enough. So then SA shortcut align. Grab the circle. Now we have a lovely corresponding control point on a very, very similar circle. There. You see it? Right, and I could just click the control point, or I do want to show what I alluded to earlier. I can't actually access the control point there. You can see it a little bit to the right. I go to do it, it changes, it goes to change. Control. Boom. Please don't mess me around with the angle. You didn't. You were perfect. Fantastic. Cool. So now that those two are flat together, and that is going to be a bit of a problem. I don't really want that. I want a bit of direction in all directions. So let's just have a little look and zoom in for a bit, because the hidden thing, we can see that. That looks a bit much. Half a millimetre is great. Quarter of a millimetre is better. It's not final, we'll end up messing around with that again later. And in theory we can do the same with this, but this doesn't matter too much because we've got other things to do with this. So we will move that up 0.25 again. Although it may not have needed it, but we'll have a little look. Nope. Okay, right. 0.5. No. A whole one? Oh, it's minus, that's why. That's too much. Okay, minus 0.5. Yep, cool, that's good. We can see the flat edge on there. Sits nicely within that, but again, we're going to do more stuff with that later. But what we could do with doing now is the support rods, or at least getting them on the field. So then, nice and simple, we don't do anything fancy with them. I give them a millimetre of tolerance either side, and then a millimetre in the, half a millimetre in the diameter. So it doesn't really matter where we do this. That one there. So then, I haven't established what sizes I want, or at least not on camera yet. Wink, wink. So then, the size was 426 millimeters long. We have a certain thinning of the blade, which should mean it's very light and won't need a lot of support. To be fair, the design itself shouldn't need a lot of support, but we're going to pop it to about just under halfway up through the blade and the majority of the way down the handle. Again, it's going to be about 4mm, so I don't really want more than 10mm on any side on that. So the thick support rod is going to be 200 by 4, or in this case 202 by 4.5, and then the smaller rods, literally I'll be shocked if I need more than 2mm and by 52mm. I've crossed the actual from the theory. Okay, let's make them. So what am I measuring? Where am I measuring? Who are you? Why are you in my house? Cylinder. Right, so yep, cool. We want this, is this diameter or radius? This is diameter, so 4.5, lovely. And we want it 202. I know I won't be able to see you, that's fine, that's fine. And we'll make the other one as well straight away. We'll turn the bodies on, because otherwise what's the point? Oh, what's that? I wonder if that's one already. Create another one, create cylinder, yep, down here. And then this one is the diameter, so it will be 2.5, lovely, and 52 long, lovely. And we're going to want a copy of that, but if we're going to do anything with these, then we might as well make the copy afterwards. Right, so for the appearance, I'm going to stick some colours on it, so it's much more bold and obvious. Loki colours for some crazy reason. I'm going to give all of the top bits a fillet. So you, you, you and you. And this is going to be of 0.5mm. Lovely. Just makes it a little bit easier to deal with. So we've got the colour set, we've got the fillet done, so we're going to move, body, create a copy. No, we're not going to do that here. We're going to do that later. We're going to have as fewer tools as possible for now. So then, we'll make another one of those in a moment. For now, shortcut, align, control point. No, I want to be able to get rid of the body. So let's make these two new bodies into a component and get them named appropriately. Which one are you? You're 4mm by 200. Lovely. You there. You're 2mm by 50. I think. Yes, you are. Great work. Make them that. No, not two separate components, you silly thing. Maybe it'd help if I didn't tell it two separate components. No, it's not my fault. So we're going to grab that and pop that in with the other bodies. Sounds so macabre. Remove that, we don't need that. Right, I did remove the right thing, right? I did, woo! So this is LD rods. And we'll move the component, why not? We'll go nuts. Oh, I can't remember where I put the other bits. Okay, who's seen my dagger? There's a dagger around here somewhere. Okay, free move, top view, let's just drag it over. Cool, and then shortcut, align, align. Get that control point. Where'd you go? Why'd you do that? I'm going to guess because there was a very specific capture position button which I neglected to press. So control point there, control point there. Oh, there's not a capture button, okay. In which case I might need to click if that disappears again, which it has. This means I need to click on components. That one there. And I will probably try capturing the position first, and if that doesn't work I'll do it without the capture position, and that's fine. There we go. Yep, that's where I want you. You're going to stay? Good boy. Right. Let's do the same for. What do you mean? What do you mean? No, that's irrelevant. Shortcut align. Where's my little one? There's my little one. Capture position. You can go in exactly the same place because it was a good place. Why is that disappearing? Let's unselect that. Okay, we don't quite know why control isn't working there, but it's not a drama, we can do that later. The main support one is the one we need to line up, so then let's have a little look. We can see where it's going to lie through that, and I know it's on free move, but I've been betrayed by geometry recently. We only want it about halfway. It doesn't really matter too much as long as there's decent support on either side. Yeah, that looks good. Let's check if it penetrates through the blade. No, that's so much space either side. Lovely. Cool. Right. I'm going to move this 100mm in any direction at the moment. I always try and do 100mm in translate so that it's I don't need to use anything else to get it back in place. Okay, right, let's try. Now that that's not there, shortcut, align. Hello, Warden Tauros. Oh yeah, I'm chaos. I'm just chaos. Right, come on. There we go. Flip that over. Give it the old capture position. Actually, no, because then I've got to try and grab it. Capture position. You gonna stay? You stayed. Lovely. And exactly where am I gonna want this? Come on. There we are. So ideally, I kind of want to. As I said, it doesn't need to be used, but it can go through the hilt and the blade and keep it very, very snug and secure, hopefully. That looks good. So it's 6mm to the right. Let's just create a copy there, which will probably... You haven't just gone back there, have you? I just moved you. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Actually, that works because I didn't take a note of how far I moved it. Right, 165. Does that look good? Does that look central? It does. Okay, cool. So this next one, I want to do 6mm to the right. And then 165 down, I believe. Okay, so okay, so then what we're going to do is, clearly this wants to play around with the capture position, and that's my fault for thinking, but I should just be moving the body. Like, the problem is the component moving. So, even if this didn't work properly earlier, it's there now. Great, fantastic. So does that mean that one is going to stay there? Lovely, and that means I can move this one, translate, over to the left, 12mm. Create copy. Why are you there? Let's just pretend you don't exist. Just do. You don't like that, do you? Fair enough. Cool. I also want to know if you're part of a component or a body. You're a component. You're a body. That's fine. That's great. So then, these are now aligned. These have been eaten out and are the right size. But there is an additional notch that I want to put here that I would usually only use if it's assembling like part of a flat blade onto a flat blade. Usually I wouldn't do it with a crevasse here. However, I do want to do that with this item, just because it is quite small when it comes together here. Plus, it'll be good to show. So let's just see how much space we're playing with. Yeah, that's great. That's loads of space. Okay, so then what we're going to do is create a sketch on this because it's a flat plane. It's just going to be an oval or an ellipse, whatever. Am I building the start point? Tell me. Center point. Okay, fantastic. So there, lovely. And there, perfect. Center point. And then the first axis point. Is this the wider one or the not wider one? Perfect. That looks good. So we've got a sketch here. Lovely. We're going to extrude that and make a shape out of it. I've disabled all of the sketches, so, you know, challenging. There we go. I want to extrude this by 0.1. I'm not actually going to use this for the shape. I'm going to be lofting a new shape. So new body, lovely. And then, to be fair, I can actually just extrude that rather than that. So if I extrude this, how big do I want this? 15 mil? 20 mil? 20 mil's quite big. We'll keep that super secure though. Right, how much of a taper do I want? Because this never works well. Okay, so -2, -2, -3, -4, -5. I know how numbers work. That looks good. That looks good. So this is a shape. It's not part of that body. This is a separate shape entirely. So the part that we're going to take out of the blade needs to be a little bit bigger than this bit, and then we need to mess around with the aligning to get it all perfect and right. So first thing we do is copy that, create a copy, lovely, and then scale, uniform, any point, doesn't matter, we need to realign later, 1.02. Shortcut align. Let's just make sure that has done what I wanted it to. Control point, control point. We can do that, we can click OK, yep. Yep, you can see this vertical line here represents, or the end of this vertical line here represents that corner there. So let's assume that is the same down here. Oh, we actually get a corner. And yep, that's great. The distances, yep, I can't see there because of that. That's great. Okay, so then let's just move the bigger one. We'll translate it just because we're in a good place with translate at the moment. Shortcut align. Now don't press the control point because we know it's all aligned and it'll probably be fine anyway, but whatever. We don't want to move everything. We only want to get this face here on this angle, on this face here, while keeping all of the other angles as they currently are. So click on that. That is exactly that. Lovely. So then, let's join them up. That's a bit premature, yeah. No, yeah, let's join them up. Let's join them up. Combine that one to that one. Nope. Let's combine that one to that one. It's newer. Join. Don't need to keep the tools in this instance. Yep, we will keep the tools in this instance actually. And we will move them somewhere out of the way because I don't throw anything away. Oh, you should see the cables. Right. So now then, if I move, translate this 100 mil down, that will still be perfectly in position. So none of these side boundaries, can't see anything there, should be touching. There should be just a tiny bit of distance. You can see that, a tiny bit of distance. And that should be uniform, the entirety of the perimeter. That looks good, that looks good, that looks good. Fantastic. Now then, enter. if we were to take the chunk there out of the blade, then I would need to adjust the blade or push pull or something like that. That's why we've made this one earlier. So then what we're going to do, this blade should be in the correct position. So 100 mil up. I'm doing minus. Why is that doing minus? Doesn't matter. Minus 100 mil up. Right, so then let's check. Is that... No, it's not perfectly in line with that. Why are you not perfectly in line? And let's use this moment to double check where they'll be. Yep, that's great. Do you know what? In this instance, now that we've got that there and we can see the amount of depth available... Oh, don't be like that. Just grab that as well. We can see that where we've placed those are no longer quite so genius and helpful. Yeah, that looks good. I'm almost tempted to leave that offset. No, then it's will only go one way round. You didn't select all of that body, did you? 7 mil, wasn't it? 7 mil. Cool. So that's where I want them. So then, let's S align. So this bit I'm going to need to be a little bit tricky on. So I want to align it with this bit here before we start taking chunks out of it. Hold control and we can pop it there. But there is a problem in that it's further back than it should be. Only by a millimetre or something, but we made only by 2%, but we made that for a reason. So once we know we've got it on 2 angles or 2 axes aligned, we can move that out and then put that where we need it to be by doing exactly the same thing. S, a shortcut align, grab the face, and anywhere on here that's not a control point, that is now exactly where we need it. Which means if we now move that up, translate 100 millimeters, the blade is waiting. I hope I've grabbed the right one. I have to have grabbed the right one because it's the one on the outside. I have to have. There's no need to check. Honest. Right, 100. 100. Cool. That looks great. That just looks amazing. Combine. From that, delete that. Keep the tools. 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 Lovely. From that, we need to just move that back down. 100. Lovely. Right, so then all sizes. Done. Support hole's not quite eaten out yet, but the notch is there. And so let's get... Oh no, I need to keep the bodies for now. I will sort the orbit so that we're looking from here. Let's bring that up. Yeah, 50 will do. No, never breach away from the 100. Cool, that looks good. So let's, you there, eat that, that, and that. Keep the tools, yep, yum, yum, yum. And then you there, eat that, that, and that. Yum, yum, yum. And then M, so we want to grab the angles for translate, but if we translate, we can't grab all of them. I want to grab all of them. But because I opened it with translate, it did it fine and keeps the global geometry. Lovely. So we want to drop this down 50. Cool. Zoom in and then your turn. Yum, 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 yum. Woo! Done. I think. Right. No, a little bit of tidying up. A little bit of tidying up. You there. Cool. You there. Cool. So what are you? You need a thing. You need a thing, an allocation, an assignment, something. There you are. go on in there with the other bodies. Lovely. Right, so we can now get rid of all of the bodies and make it look like it's quite neat and tidy, sort of. Oh, look at that, look at that, look how few bodies there are. Let's get rid of the sketches as well. So then, now we have the notches, and we have the support rods, and we had the bottom of the hilt carved out as well, which didn't need a notch because it's actually a bit of an insert there, so that's not a problem. Actually, let's give that 1/2 mil fillet. That's massive. That's not 1/2 mil. That's better. Honestly. Okay, so then, let's have a little look. Let's make that up there by 100. Cool. Let's get rid of those hidden edges. There we go. Actually, let's put that together properly, because the overlapping parts don't look cool, and that's a problem. So then, there may be further tweaks depending on what happens when I print it, but that's it. So that's how I do support rods and notches and everything for the items. Important thing to remember, you never need to use all of them, easier to put in. Always think what you want the material to be based on the purpose you're going to use it for. Like if it's going to be sat on a wall and weight's not an issue, just make rods, make it big and heavy or something like that, just for the strength of the item. If you're carrying it around at a convention for like 8 hours, then no full steel rods, just look for tubing, look for wooden dowel, something that gives you the support without the weight, because yeah, you'll feel it after a long period of time. So yeah, anyone drop by, thanks for watching, and have a great day.